Hi everybody, I am here with my next book review. This is book number 8. It was Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. This is a very reflective cover. I'm trying to get it to show up without the lights reflecting off of it. This was sort of a last minute pick for me. It was part of Reese's book club, which, not gonna lie, I have really enjoyed a lot of the books that are kind of with her seal of approval, her stamp of approval. So I picked it up. This was also a thrift store find. I think I got it for $3.48. So maybe that was another reason why I grabbed it. Overall, I gave this book 4 out of 5. So let me kind of give you a little bit of the premise. So again, I don't really like to read the back of the book or the book jacket. I don't want to have any idea what is going on with a book, not even a vague idea of what the plot's going to be. I like to really truly be surprised as I read it. So I was very confused at first. So basically this book takes place during the pandemic, which I think is very interesting. I'm excited to see how that'll become sort of a more common literary theme, pandemic literature, pandemic timeframes. So I'm kind of excited for that. But so it takes place during the pandemic. There's a woman who lives in Michigan. She owns a cherry farm. Her family owns a cherry farm, and her daughters are there because they were in school. One of them lives on the farm and she's going to take it over. The other one was in school. The third daughter was trying to be an actress. So basically they all came home because that's what everybody did in 2020. They went home to stay with their families. And they're asking their mom to tell them a story about her life. And basically the mom used to be an actress. She was in at least one movie, and she dated this really famous actor. And I would say that the equivalent of this actor would kind of be almost like a George Clooney, where he's a household name. Everybody knows him. He transitioned from TV to movies and is just very well known. So basically she dated this actor, or they knew that she dated this actor. It was kind of mentioned in passing many, many years ago when they were still little. The dad had said, "Oh, your mom used to date that guy," and then they kind of lost their minds. So anyway, the story takes place kind of in the two different time frames of the summer where she dated that man and during the pandemic when she's telling the story to her daughters. So basically the time travel aspect is her telling the story to the daughters. I didn't know that going in, obviously, because I don't like to read the synopsis. So the first time it switched, I was a little confused and thrown off for a second. But again, 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It was a little slow to start, and I don't know if it was truly slow to start or if it was just because I was confused and thrown off for a second. But it was definitely worth sticking with it. I mean, I very rarely kind of drop a book midway. I usually finish every book, even if I hate it. But yeah, if you do find it a little bit slow in the beginning, I promise you stick with it. Both time frames become more interesting, because that was sort of where I was at. Was I thought that the time frame or the storytelling from when she was an actress was very interesting, but she kind of started even before that. She started when she was in high school and she tried out for a play, and I was like, this isn't very interesting to me in particular, but I know it might lead to somewhere more interesting, so I stuck with it, and I thought it was very, very good. And then meanwhile, the time frame where they're on the farm during the pandemic, I didn't really find that very riveting, but that story even kind of starts to pick up as you get to know the daughters and more of their personalities and things like that. The one thing that I did not like about this book is it is acknowledged verbally by the daughters, at least in the end, but also it's kind of a theme throughout the whole book where the daughters don't know details about the mom's life. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like I do know details of my mom's life. I knew, where she lived when she was first married, and I know, how my parents met and all these different things. And like her previous marriage before she married my dad. I know these details. I can't imagine not knowing details about my mom or details about my parents and their relationship, because that's basically the premise, is the daughters think that their parents met this one way and the evolution of their love and so on and so forth. They think they know it, and the parents are like, you don't know anything. And they were like, at one point, the kids, the daughters are kind of confused. They were like, how did we not know this? I don't know. I don't know how you don't know this, because speaking personally, I know just about everything about my parents' life kind of before they got married, how they met, etc., etc. So that was kind of one spot that made me pause for a second, was how do you not know these things? It's interesting to me. Anyway, 4 out of 5, great read. I really liked the ending. I really liked all the characters, not only the mom and the daughter and the husband, but the character who's the actor that kind of spurs the whole story, the George Clooney, quote unquote. And then just kind of some more of the side characters were very, very interesting. So I would definitely recommend reading it. Again, it's a more recent book, so if you can find it, go ahead and do it. Okay, so next read. This will be number 9. This is The Silent Patient. Hold on, where are we going? The Silent Patient by Alex Macalides. Not sure how you say that last name. This book has been out for a very long time. I kind of remember vaguely, maybe like 2-3 years ago, one of my friends reading it when it was a new release, and she gave it a great review. And recently it's just been kind of recirculating again where people are reading it. I do think that this book is going to be scary. For lack of a better term. It's going to be a thriller. It's probably going to have some scary moments. So if you're someone who does not like scary books, this will probably not be for you. But we will have a discussion about that later on when I'm finished it, to let you guys know if it truly is that scary or not. Okay, if you have read Tom Lake or The Silent Patient and you have thoughts and feelings about either one, please let me know, because I always want to know not only my interpretation of things, but other people's interpretation. Maybe you yourself don't know all the details about your parents' life, and so you didn't find that weird, or so on and so forth. So please let me know. Again, 4 out of 5 for that one. Very, very good. Would recommend it. And next is Silent Patient. Okay, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will be checking in with you next Monday.